Unlike English written system, which use alphabets, Chinese written system use characters. So one character is made up of strokes. Like this character, it means how good. It contains 6 strokes. You can see the animation, 6 strokes. And so in the Chinese written system, there are 11 basic strokes, and different sets of strokes form different radicals and components, and they can be put together to form various characters. And so students are required to use the Xiezi app when they start to learn how to write Chinese characters in Chinese 101 and Chinese 102. Here's a brief introduction about this app. This app was designed specifically for Chinese character writing, practice Chinese characters. It features 3 modes. You can see here, a train mode, a drill, and test. So in the train mode, students are able to view the stroke-by-stroke animation of each character, and they can also view the pronunciation and the meaning, okay, although they are small here. And they can practice drawing each character stroke by stroke using the character outline provided here. And the app will check and correct the errors as they draw. Okay. And then in the drill mode, the students are prompted to draw each character and from their memory. And then the app will check their errors. If they got it wrong, the app will show the correct version and then put the character to the vocabulary stack so that students can practice, try it later. And in the test mode, students have only one chance to recall, to write the character from the memory, and the grades will be recorded for accuracy and progress checking. So the background of the research is writing Chinese character has been a very challenging task for American students because it's a new skill for them to develop. And traditionally, American students are provided with paper and pen to practice writing each character stroke by stroke on paper, which is not fun and not motivating. And a study has shown that American students spend 1/3 of their study time on character writing, which is time-consuming and inefficient. And nowadays, we have many educational technologies developed to help American students to practice writing more efficiently. So a natural question is, how does the Xiezi app perform? So these are my research questions. How did students perceive the effect of the Xiezi app, and how do they perceive it can be better used to facilitate their learning? So the participants were recruited from the Chinese 102 course. The students learned Chinese for 1 year. By the end, by the time the data were collected, they learned Chinese 101 and 102. So they used the app for 1 year already. The app was required. Okay, they have to use the app. And if they do not have the app, that means if they are Android users, because this app is not accessible by Android users, they can choose to use the pen and paper method. And 30 students did the survey. Among them, 24 of them used the app, and 6 used the pen-paper method. And five of them did the interview with me. So both the survey data and interview data were collected. The survey data were collected to learn more about the students' belief in the importance of stroke order, when to emphasize stroke order, and time spent on writing Chinese character, and which method do they prefer, and what they think of the functionality of the app, and what they think of the impact of the writing. And the interview data were collected to learn more in-depth perspective about the app itself and also its impact and what suggestions they have for future learning in terms of Chinese character writing. So this is survey finding 1. Most of the students agreed it's very important to know the stroke order when they learn to write Chinese characters. And they expressed that 66.7% of the participants expressed that stroke order should be emphasized at the 100 level. And students indicated that half of the students spend 20 to 60 minutes on the Xiezi app for each lesson. Okay, and in terms of the training mode, most of the students, actually 66.7% of the students were satisfied with the interface of the app, and they expressed that it did a good job in showing the stroke-by-stroke animation of each character, and this increased their knowledge of the stroke order. And more than 70% of the students expressed that the drill mode helped them memorizing the stroke order of each character and also helped them recall how to write the characters. And most of the students, 73.3% of the students agree the test mode is helpful too because it helped reinforce their knowledge of the stroke order. And impact of the writing, 70% of the participants agreed that it helped with speeding up their writing. And it facilitated translating writing to paper with pen and also increased their confidence in writing. Remember, there are 6 participants who didn't use the app, but they did the survey. And when asked them which method they would choose if they were offered another chance, like for taking Chinese 101, and 18 of them would like to choose Xiezi App, and 9 of them chose pen and paper method. These include the 6 participants who didn't use the app at all. And 3 expressed that they would choose both. So the interview data found that all of them agree that Xiezi app is very helpful with learning the stroke order knowledge, but they expressed that there are several disadvantages. For example, it's repetitive, and sometimes it's too specific on the strokes and too oversensitive. And also, one of the participants expressed that it's hard to translate the movements on the app to handwriting. One of the participants, just one. And all of the students agreed that the app did a very good job, helped them memorize the stroke order of each character, and also helped remember the shape of each character. And some of them expressed it helped remember the sound and shape because, as I said before, the app has the function of showing the pronunciation and also the meaning. And participants expressed that there are some benefits and also disadvantages of the app. For example, it's convenient and easy to use, and also it provides instant feedback. That's very important for the students to learn the stroke order, and also reinforce their memory and save paper. And some of the students said it needs improvement because the bugs are too slow and freezes. Okay, and one of the students expressed it's challenging if you want to get 80% correct, but it could be an advantage. And students suggested it's better to continue to use the app because of the advantages. And several students, some of the students, like the 6 students, they want to make it accessible to Android users. And the participants expressed that it's better to solve the bug issues on the app. And some of the students expressed it's better to have the both of the methods provided to students so that they have more options. So conclusion, how did the students perceive the effect of the Xiezi app? It increased knowledge of the stroke order, assist their memory, and also help with recall of character sound and meaning. And it has a lot of benefits in terms of functionality. And they would like the stroke order knowledge to be emphasized at the beginning of beginning level of the Chinese courses, and also provide choices, not only the app, but also maybe the traditional method. And they would like the functionality of the app to be improved, but that I can do nothing. So thank you very much for providing the fellowship to me. Any questions? No?
Do you think that in the future that the Chinese program will change so that the students have the option? Is that going to be a result?
If I teach 101 or 102 in the future, I will still use this app, but I will provide more than one option to the students. Because some of the students do not like technologies. They prefer the pen paper method because it helps develop a fine motor skill and it helps remember. Yeah, not all of the students prefer one method. So it's important for us to provide more than one option to the students.
It might be interesting for you to show them some of the data, though, to say that you've compared it and interviewed students, and a lot of people found it helpful for these reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But the company should improve the functionality of the app.
Are there like competitors to this? Are there other softwares that do the same or similar or solve this in a different way? Because I'm sure this must be a huge market, right? And I'm sure there's a lot of changes in this, like do textbook publishers or other startups, or is there competition?
There are several apps that were designed to help improve students' Chinese character writing. This is one of the apps I know, and is using this app too. We actually communicated with the developer, but they do not have money to improve the functionality at this present. And also, it's hard for them to make it accessible to Android users because they do not have money, do not have people who are working for the company right now. So that's the issue we cannot solve, unfortunately.
Kind of going off that, like one app that I used was Pleco. I don't know if you're familiar with
Yes,
it.
I know that.
Used by Android users, so that might be another option.
Yes.
Would you talk a little bit more about what happens in class to support their learning of character, stroke order? So I'm sure you're working on vocabulary in the sense they can recognize
Yes.
characters, but what else are you doing when you're interacting? What's typical in what are practices interacting in class to teach them the stroke order?
Normally, we teach the students stroke order at the very beginning of Chinese 101. We tell the rules. We also have videos that online that students can refer to when they want to learn more about stroke order knowledge. But we didn't do it character by character in each class because we believe that when the students know the rules, they can use the rules. So we emphasize it a lot at the beginning of 100 level, 101 Chinese course. Sometimes instructors will write on the whiteboard or blackboard so that students can view. But that happened more in the 101 Chinese course.
And is it difficult to the work on face validity and the recognition from the students that it's so important for them to produce the characters with the correct stroke order. Do they buy into that, or is that something
that's an interesting topic. That's an interesting topic to investigate. Actually, I asked not my students, I asked myself, and I asked my two daughters, is it important to know, to really write by the correct stroke order? Sometimes I didn't, follow the stroke order that strictly. Is it very important? I agree it's important, because if you do not follow the stroke order principle, sometimes you miss one stroke, and then you cannot structure that character in a very good way, a very good shape. So, yeah.
It would make your writing harder to read.
Yeah, that makes writing harder, but it makes sense to emphasize it's important. Once the students form the habit, it will not be that hard for them. Good habit is very important at the beginning. Any questions? No. Thank you.
Where is teaching Japanese?
Everyone just share the video.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
We just have one. What we've done is a
Thank you.
video.
Yeah, you're welcome.
they realize my writing order is incorrect.
Video.
Yeah.
Probably rather
Yeah.
than watch
I
5
know.
minutes of it. I don't think that's.
I blame
We could maybe watch a few minutes.
And then when we edit the video, we can take out this portion. All right, guys, so we have one more presenter who was not able to be here because he's in class. And given that he went to a lot of trouble to record this so that he could make up for not being here today, we'll start it and play a little bit. If you can continue watching it, that's great. If you cannot, that's okay. And when we share this video, we'll share the video of the live presentation, and then just also separately with that, share the video that he produced, which is going to look better in the long run anyway. But just so we can get a flavor of what Bronson has been working on.
So
And
if you signed in, right, make sure you sign in, then we know who was here. Mia can send that out.
all right, is Mia really gone?
I don't know.
Because I'm going to feel. This is going to be embarrassing. We just gave that spiel and then now make it play.
I don't know if this was it was not through a computer, so either a flash drive.
Was it
or-
playing from the sound bar?
I don't know.
Nope. And Russ won't be around. All right, guys.
Well, I'd say
Well,
we'll share
that
it
was
via-
fun.
We'll ask her to share it via email, and then you can watch it. So make sure you left your name, and we have some more presentations next
Three
week.
more
So
next week.
hopefully you can
So
take
Bronson
some of those too. Grab some more pizza.
It has to be on HDMI, so we're looking at it. Yes, looking at it.
Well, I said power, and then it said that it had to set up the universal remote, which is,
Yeah, it was not a computer. I think HDMI is that cable that nothing is connected to. So.
okay. All right, thanks for being here, everyone.
Thank you. Grab some more pizza.
All right, don't worry.
The form, that. Yeah, I don't know.
I just looked at this to make it stop recording, and
Yeah.
it started recording when I hit stop.
Okay. I guess we'll just. Jamie? I didn't see her around. She's was here. Yeah. One thing I need to talk to her about is that we need to, especially if we have 3 live ones next week, that we need to like cut off after 20 minutes. Okay, yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's a classic academic problem, is that the first one goes. But, no, yeah. No, yeah, well, I mean, with discussion and everything, like it needs to be 15 minutes, so we need, yeah, well, I'll make sure, before next time, we'll talk to.
I mean, share
I'll talk to them, right, because they need to get used to the, because every company's like you said, the last presenter, I go with me, and then, I mean, at least this worked out with the video, kind of, because, but I mean, but even the video, if it's 22 minutes, that was already too long. I don't know what yeah.
It's an old
Well, it depends on the conference. For me, it's 50. I mean, yeah. Yeah. So